Conservative Winsome Sears is competing against Abigail Spanberger for governor in Virginia. And at their debate last night, things got really fiery when apparently Abigail Spanberger is simply refusing to answer questions. And that's what we're going to see in today's clips. But before we begin, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe on this video so we can break through the algorithms. Here we go.
Thanks, Tom. Our next question is about the temperature and tone of political speech. The first example has been shaping the race for governor and attorney general for the past week. You both will have a chance for rebuttal. Democratic Attorney General nominee Jay Jones admits he sent text messages to a colleague referencing former Republican House Speaker Todd Gilbert. Here's what he wrote.
Jones. 3 people, 2 bullets. Gilbert, Hitler, Pol Pot. Gilbert gets 2 bullets to the head. Spoiler, put Gilbert in the crew with the 2 worst people you know, and he receives both bullets every time. Colleague. Jay, please stop. Jones. LOL, okay. I mean, do I think Todd and Jennifer are evil and that they're breeding little fascists? Yes. Colleague, you were talking about hoping Jennifer Gilbert's children would die. Jones, yes, I've told you this before. Only when people feel pain personally do they move on policy.
Jay Jones has apologized and says he takes full responsibility for those messages. Ms. Spanberger, you have called the comments disgusting and said you condemn violence. The question for you tonight is, were you aware of these messages before they were released publicly, and will you continue to endorse Jay Jones as the next Attorney General of Virginia? You have 60 seconds.
The comments that Jay Jones made are absolutely abhorrent. I denounced them when I learned of them, and I will denounce them every opportunity I get. As a mother, as a public servant, as a candidate for governor, I denounce them. And it is important that candidates always denounce violence on no matter which side of the aisle.
Thank you, Ms. Spanberger. I didn't hear an answer there on the endorsement issue, so I want to just make sure. Will you continue to endorse Jay Jones to be the next Attorney General of Virginia? And were you aware of these text messages before they released? You have 30 seconds.
In fact, it appears that it was those who released the text messages and held them for years. So the public was unaware who had knowledge of these text messages for many years.
What did you do about it?
I learned of these text messages the day that they came out, and I denounced them as soon as I learned of them.
She denounces murder.
And importantly, at this point, as we move forward, the voters now have this information that was withheld for them.
You're running to
presumably for
Ms.
political reasons, but the voters now have the information, and it is up to voters to make an individual choice based on this information.
Ms. Spanberger, I understand what you're saying about the voters, but for you yourself, do you still continue to endorse Jay Jones? 15 seconds, yes or no?
We are all running our individual races. I believe my opponent has said that about her lieutenant governor nominee.
Ms. Earl Sayers,
and it's up to every person to make their own decision. I am running my race to serve Virginia, and that is what I intend to do.
Thank you, Ms. Spanberger. We just want to clarify, what you're saying is that as of now, you still endorse Jay Jones as Attorney General.
I'm saying as of now, it's up to every voter to make their own individual decision. I am running for governor. I am accountable for the words that I say, for the acts that I take, for the policies that I have put out.
I'm wondering why my opponent won't say beyond its abhorrent and disgusting, why she won't say it is not okay and that he must leave the race because Jay Jones advocated the murder, Abigail, the murder of a man, a former speaker, as well as his children who were 2 and 5 years old. You have little girls. What would it take him pulling the trigger? Is that what would do it? And then you would say he needs to get out of the race? Abigail, you have nothing to say? Abigail, what if he said it about your 3 children? Is that when you would say he should get out of the race, Abigail? You're running to be governor.
Ms. Spanberger, we're going to start with you. Focusing on a K-12 school system, should transgender girls who are biological males be allowed to use girls' bathrooms and play on girls' sports teams? You have 60 seconds.
I'm a mother of 3 daughters in Virginia public schools, and nothing is more important to me than their safety and their experience in schools. I'm also a former federal agent, and I work to investigate crimes against children. And so nothing is more important to me than the safety of all of our children. And that work, in part, has earned me the endorsement of Virginia's Police Benevolent Association.
Tell Steve
Ms. Earl Sears,
to not
Ms.
importantly,
Spanberger is
to
talking. Please let her
on
finish.
issues related to what's happening in our schools and each individual community, I think it's important that we have parents and teachers and administrators making decisions about their individual schools, not politicians. And if we are talking about the safety of our children, I would ask why my opponent continues to support efforts to defund public safety, an effort carried on continually by this
Ms.
administration.
Spanberger, once again, the question was, should transgender girls who are biological males be allowed to use girls' bathrooms and play on girls' sports teams in K through 12? You have 15 seconds to clarify.
In cases across Virginia, I think it's incumbent upon parents and educators and administrators in each local community to
Nude
make
men in
decisions
locker rooms.
locally.
That's what this is about.
Ms. Earl Sears?
There should never be
We're gonna get
nude
to you in a
men
moment.
Oh,
in
my
locker
goodness, we
rooms.
finally have her saying that, but you voted for that.
Ms. Earl
Have you
Sears.
finally
My opponent
Ms. Earl
said
Sears, you
that
are
now?
just
lying.
intruding on
Are
time
we in
here. We're
agreement
trying.
now? Are you
Ms.
going
Earl
to
Sears,
tell?
this is Ms. Spanberger's time. I have a follow-up question for Ms. Spanberger. Would you rescind the Youngkin administration policy requiring boys and girls to use bathrooms aligning with their biological sex? You have 30 seconds.
My priority would be to ensure that local communities, importantly parents and teachers
That's
and
a yes or
educators,
no.
are able to work together to meet the unique needs of each school and each community.
girls
And
need
that is
privacy.
important. And I say that as a mother of 3 daughters in Virginia public schools.
Exactly.
And as someone who used to investigate crimes against children. The way that we keep our children safe is by ensuring they are safe in schools, which includes funding law enforcement and public safety.
But Ms. Spanberger, the question was, would you rescind the Youngkin administration policy requiring boys and girls to use bathrooms aligning with their biological sex? You have 15 seconds to clarify that question.
Yes.
And my answer is that in each local community, decisions should be made between parents and educators and teachers in each community. It shouldn't be
Parents don't want
dictated
their
by
girl children.
politicians.
Please don't interrupt. We're coming to you next.
Okay.
Thank you, Ms. Spanberger. Ms. Earl Sears, you say that you do not support biological males identifying as females playing in girls' sports and have pledged to sign legislation restricting bathrooms by birth sex. Does this position discriminate against transgender girls? You have 60 seconds.
I'm not for discriminating against anyone. What I'm saying is just very plain common sense. And I'm going to answer the question my opponent refused to answer, which is simply this. I will not rescind the governor's executive order. We know that girls want to have privacy. It's really that simple. And my opponent will not answer the question because she voted for men nude in girls' locker rooms, in bathrooms, and in girls' sports. She will refuse to protect our girls in Title IX, which is simply, an opportunity for girls to have their safe space. This is not hard. Are you going to change in a gym where men are nude in the locker rooms? Are you going to do that, Abigail?
Ms. Earl Sears.
I don't think you will. What about your girl children if they came home crying and said that
Ms.
there
Earl
was a
Sears,
male
we're gonna
in
do
the
a
locker
follow-up
room?
question with you.
What would you do?
So apparently Abigail Spanberger is trying out a brand new debate tactic, right? If you're asked a question from your political opponent, in this case, Winsome Sears, you're just going to stare blankly ahead and refuse to engage. Now, maybe this is the rules of the debate. I don't know, but it is definitely bad optics because the first thing we're talking about here is Jay Jones. As we're all aware, this is the person running for Attorney General in Virginia, and he has made those horrible comments comments that were read earlier, okay? But here you have Abigail Spanberger refusing to pull her endorsement because remember, to the Democrats, none of that really matters. It's blue no matter who, right? Whatever this guy is saying, no matter how threatening it is or how disgusting it is, you still have to get your Democrat in office. Although now it's kind of funny because his polling numbers have dropped and now he's actually losing that race simply due to these horrible comments. But that's not enough to get Abigail Spanberger to say, you know what, I rescind my endorsement. This guy shouldn't be anywhere near politics, all right? And what's also interesting about this is that new polling coming out about this race specifically, right? This stuff from Signal, Abigail Spanberger is currently up by about 4 points, all right? 49.2 to Winsome Sears 45.2. So she's still leading, but this is pre-debate. And you have to remember that at one point, she was up by about 20% in the vote. All right, so this is a huge gap that Winsome Sears is overcoming, and responses like these from Abigail Spanberger are not going to help her case, specifically over the transgender issue. Don't forget, Virginia was the hotbed. This is the place where you actually had Virginia authorities hiding the fact that a girl was assaulted in the bathroom at a high school by a transgender student. And this, of course, led to a man actually being arrested at the Loudoun County School Board meeting, right? The father of the girl who was attacked by this transgender individual, he's the one who was brought up on charges, and he actually got pardoned by Glenn Youngkin. And thank goodness for that, because here we have the race to replace him, and you actually have Abigail Spanberger admitting that, yes, men shouldn't be undressing in girls' locker rooms. Then why would you allow them in sports in general, right? If men and women are exactly the same, and if a trans girl is a girl, right, if you don't believe in basic biology, then why not have them play sports of the opposite gender and undress in bathrooms with girls, right? So she recognizes this is wrong on a fundamental level, but then she's going to ignore what her brain is telling her because her liberal heart just has so much feels in it for the trans community. And this, of course, is what Winsome Sears is pointing out. It's basic biology. Can you answer the question? What would happen if you saw someone in your own locker room? What would happen if your girls came home crying because some man was in there undressing in front of them? All right, so she knows it's wrong. She just refuses to stand up to the radical base of her party. And I hope the people of Virginia recognize this as well. So thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to like, share, comment, subscribe, and say hi to your mom for me. Do you like t-shirts? Of course you do. And now you can support the channel by buying an Angry Teacher t-shirt designed by me, Angry Teacher. So if you like America, if you like freedom, if you like liberty, then go ahead and click the link in the description where all designs, of course, are 100% mother approved. So enjoy yourself and find something you like today.